let's talk about names. So what exactly are names? See, whenever we are born, we will get a name, either sometimes assigned by our parents or our family members or our relatives. And this same name will be used in our identification cards like Aadhaar, election ID card, PAN card, etc. Right? In your school records also, you will see the same name appearing again and again. But what about your friends or your family members for that matter? Do they call you with the same name? No, right? Actually, everyone calls you with different names throughout your life. Some of your friends will call you some name, and others will call you some other name, and your mother and father will be calling some different names. See, so this actually some confusion will be regarding the names, but you will always be whatever the name which is assigned in your records, right? So today also, since I started with names, let's discuss more about names of elements. So you already know that elements have names, right? We already have around 118 elements in our periodic table. And among these, around 92 of them are actually discovered naturally and rest of them are artificial elements. Okay, so but scientists have actually came into some little bit of problem while naming the elements after the 100th name. I mean the elements which is coming after the 100, those are named with different set of rules when compared to the different other elements. So let's take some examples. You already know sodium, right? So what is the name of sodium? Symbol which we have used is actually Na, which actually comes from the Latin word natrium. Likewise, many other names are actually coming from Latin words. For example, potassium, it's actually coming from K, which is a symbol which actually comes from Kcm. Okay, let's take another example. For example, germanium. It's actually coming from the name Germany, which, as you have already know, is the name of a country. Okay, then what about the Neptunium? You already know that there are 8 planets which revolves around the sun, and Neptune is one among them. So Neptunium, the name actually derived from the name of the planet Neptune. Then take another element. For example, curium. Okay, curium or Cm is a symbol, is actually derived from the name of the scientist Marie Curie. Okay, so likewise, there are many other elements. For example, Americium, which actually comes from the name America, and there is Francesium, which comes from the name France. So there are different set of rules where the names of elements are coming. Okay, so after 100, many scientists actually discovered the elements according to from their country, or some scientists actually named the elements with their name. So to avoid the confusion, the organization IUPAC, that means International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, they have actually devised a set of rules to name the elements which are coming after the atomic number 100. So in this video, we are actually going to discuss about these rules to name elements which are coming from 101 to 118. So, like I told you before, names about the elements which are coming atomic number above 100 follow some set of rules. So before stating those rules, first of all, you need to know what the symbols or the name roots corresponding to each numbers are. Okay, so I will tell you that first, which will help you to assign numbers as well as the names as well as symbols for the elements. Okay, so for 0, for example, if the atomic number has 0, we will name it as nil. You already know nil means nothing, that means 0. Okay, the symbol associated with 0 will be n. Okay, now comes 1. 1 is actually written as un or un, which is denoted by the symbol u. Now for 2, like you already know, bi, tri, di, we have already discussed about this in our earlier class also. You might have already studied. For 1 we will say mono, for 2 we will say bi or di, 3 we will say tri, right? So here also for 2 we will write bi, which is denoted by the symbol b. For 3 we will write tri, which is denoted by the symbol t, and for 4 we will write quad. In maths you might have already discussed this quadratic equations, right? So 4 we will write quad, which is denoted by the symbol q. For 5 we will write pent, symbol p. 6 we will write hex, which symbol H. For 7, it will be sept, not hept, it is sept, which will be written as S. Okay. For 8, as you have already guessed, it will be oct, denoted by O. For 9, it will be N, not a symbol N, E-N-N, N, symbolized by E. Okay, so now you got the corresponding root word for each number. Let me rephrase it once more. For 0, we will write nil, denoted by the symbol N. For 1, it will be un, denoted by the symbol U. 2, it will be bi, denoted by the symbol B. 3 will be tri, denoted by the symbol T. 4, quad, Q. 5, pend, P. 6, hex, H. 7, sept, S. 8, oct, O. 9, N, E. Okay, now you know the root numbers or root words corresponding to each numbers. Now let's try to write the names and symbols of some elements. Okay, start with 101. Okay, so you have 3 numbers. So how do you write the name of the element? Simple. First you take the root words of each corresponding numbers. For example, 1 we have un, and now we have 0, 0 we have nil. Okay, for again it is 1 is coming, which is un. Okay, you have written 3 root words of the numbers there, and if you end with a name, I mean suffix, em. What is em? I-U-M. And then write all these root words followed by em together, you will get the name of the element as un, nil, un, em. Un, nil, un, em. That will be the name of 101th element. So what will be the symbol for this element? Symbol. For 1, you already know that symbol will be U. For nil, it will be N, and again for 1, it will be U. So the symbol for this element will be U, N, U. As you have already noticed about the elements in the periodic table, whenever you write the symbol, you will write the first letter in capital letters. Okay, then following numbers in small case. Okay, so now let's discuss one more example. Okay, for 102, what will be the name? As you can see, there are 3 numbers, right? For 1, we will write un. For 0, we will write nil. For 2, we will write bi. What will be the final suffix? Yes, it will be ium or em. So the name will be un, nil, bi, em, which will be denoted by U, N, B. So will be U, N, B. Simple, right? Let's talk about some other number, right? 102, 103, that you might have already guessed. So anyway, we will do that also. For 103, we will get un, nil. For 3, we already know tri, followed by ium. That means un, nil, trium. Right? So U, N, T will be the symbol for this element. Okay. For 104, it will be, for 1, we will write un. For 0, we will write nil. For 4, we will write quad, followed by the suffix ium. So the name will be un, nil, quadium. Un, nil, quadium. Sounds fun, right? So what will be the symbol of this element? U, N, Q. U and Q will be the symbol of this element. Okay, so far we have been discussing the numbers which have 0 in between. So what about the numbers after 110? Let's discuss that also. Now let's start with elements with atomic number starting from 110. Okay, so what will be the first step? First we will write the atomic number, that means 110. Okay, now assign the root words for each of these numbers. For 1, we will write un. For the next letter also, we will write the second root word, that is also un, since it is 1. For third one, we have 0, which is corresponded to the root word nil. So suffix, as always, we will use IUM. So what will be the name of the compounds? Un, nil, ium. Ununnilium. Okay, that might sound a little bit difficult. Okay, so this is how the IUPAC nomenclature of elements with atomic number greater than hundreds have done. Okay, so what will be the symbol of this? For un, it will be U. For the next one, it will again be U, followed by the nil, which will be N. So UUN will be the symbol for this element. Okay, let's take a couple more examples to solidify this concept. Okay, so let's take 102. So what will be the name of this element? Will, as you have guessed, un will be the first root word for 1, then followed by another one, un, then followed by the 2, which is by, finally suffix IUM. So what will be the name? Un, by, ium. So for those two i's, I have neglected one I because anyway it will sound the same. So unun bayam. So it will be U, B. Easy, right? So let's discuss the last atomic number of this series, 118th element. Right? So what will be the name of this element? First start with the root words. For one, we will be having un. For the second one also we will be having un. And finally we will be having oct, which correspond to the 8. Number 8 will be correspond to the root word oct. And finally ended with the suffix IUM, EM. So what will be the name? Write it together. Un, octium. Un octium will be the name of this element. So what will be the symbol of this element? U, O. Easy, right? So with this video, I hope that you are already clear with naming the elements with atomic number greater than 100. That means between 101 to 118th. The main thing to remember is the root words. That means root words which correspond to each of this number from 0 to 9. Okay, so how do you write that? Write the root numbers of these 3 words correspondingly. What? 3 letters are there. Sorry, 3 numbers are there. 3 numbers, root words, you write in that particular order. Don't change the order. In the same order, you write the root words in that order which comes in the particular atomic number. For example, if you are writing 101, write the root word of 1 followed by 0 followed by 1 and end with the name IUM. This suffix is very important to write the name. So how do you write the symbol? Write the symbol which correspond to the first table which I have shown you. For 1, it will be un, which corresponds to the symbol U. Whatever the name root for that particular number, take the first letter of those root word and use it as the symbol. Okay, so almost all the symbol will be having 3 letters. For example, 101 will be having U and U, which correspond to un, nil, un, ium. Okay, so that's easy. So that's all for this video. We will come with another new video. With this, I conclude this video.
Manorama Horizon. Learning made simple.